boundaries take two people. That's a crazy thing. Something that I love about our friendship, that was, at the time we like connected, I was like, oh, actually have like these limits, and it's safe to just be like, okay, yeah, I'm closing my bedroom door now. Good night.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Olivia.
Yeah.
I actually
Right.
allowed myself something. I guess you could call it a bad habit. It is, especially in romantic relationships. I zone out like a lot of times. Like if somebody's telling me a bunch of things, I don't hear it all. It's like some part of me. Maybe it's like childhood. I learned to like only identify certain information. It's selective hearing. I definitely have that. And so what I've done is to say, if you really need me to hear something, please make sure I heard you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to listen to you, but I like when you have a really long like story about your day that's like 7 stories, I go into this place where I'm not really listening to you and I'm just being polite. And I know that can be annoying. I'm sorry that that's annoying. It's also where I'm at. You know, and I'm trying really hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what are you gonna say?
Well, there's two things. Really good to communicate that to have that awareness and to communicate that to anyone, because that will give them the tools to actually connect with you. But also, like, active listening is a good skill to cultivate.
Yes.
And listening, it's not just listening to the words. It's like creating the container for the person to like share that experience where you're receiving all of the information. And that's like an allowance thing where it's like, I'm not letting myself get in the way. Like, if you're tired or busy and being like, I can't listen to you right now because what I really actually want to hear you all the way. So I'm going to actually take a beat. So when I hear you, I'm like absorbing and not just.
It's like this is different because I've set an intention. I'm here to listen and then
Yeah.
To hold
talk.
hold that space.
But when it happens, I guess naturally in life, I can't always be in that state. I just can't. I'm not
yet.
capable of doing.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. but if you tell me this is if you say I need you to listen to me, I'm there. You know, or I'll say I can't right now. I really can't.
When's your birthday?
April 19th.
Cool. Thanks.
You know Kiki's sister Izzy?
Yeah.
She did everything on mine, and she
Oh,
said
yeah.
I am like the most Aries person she's ever met.
That makes sense to me.
It
Do
does.
you remember them off the top of your head?
I'm my moon sign, my sun sign. I think Mars. I can't remember what
Are they
else.
all
All
Aries?
Aries.
They're like all Aries, yeah.
I'm doing.
A lot of Aries energy in my life recently. Kind of love it.
Yeah, y'all are cool.
Yeah.
I resisted that label.
Everybody should resist their astrological label because we are not but one sun sign. Unless you find out that your chart is literally just Aries.
And then it's like,
I mean,
well.
and then it's like, okay, here comes the reckoning. But, like, honestly, it's your own personal reckoning. This whole, like, it's the same as, like, classism or any ism.
Yeah.
You know, astrology ism, that it's like, oh my God, you're such a Leo. It's like, fuck.
I associated Aries with all the negative things.
Right.
And Izzy helped me. She said, no, I really actually like Aries. My kid is an Aries. And she said, you guys see the world like children. You have very high idealistic hopes for way things can be, and it's nice.
Impossibly warm when they care about you. Impossibly. One of my all-time best friends, Maggie Talbot-Minkin, she lives in Harlem. Shout out. She is a double Aries, and it's just like so radiates such warmth and acceptance towards me, and no bullshit, and calls me out on my shit.
I have no space for bullshit.
It's wonderful.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of time.
It is.
And I'm either comfortable enough to say this is bullshit,
Or you're not.
or I'm not
participating.
comfortable enough, in which case I'm just not listening. You know, I'm not participating in your bullshit because
I do not consent to your
because I
bullshit.
can't.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Because I can't take this. I mean, it's sort of like back to what you're saying, though. Like, not what you're saying, but what you began with. And, like, you're trying to get better at, like, actively listening.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned as the person that usually is pretty good at having the story and then also 7 stories at once is that, like, sometimes you really got to be conscious of, like, what you're communicating. Because if you know your listener, you know what I mean? That's a two-way street as well that I've had to learn. I've had to take on that, like, I'll find people who are congruent to me and that, like, they will make the space to be listened to. But it's sort of traumatic because I'm unloading and they're taking it all.
I get that. That's when
know
I'm
what I
actively
mean?
listening.
Yeah.
It can be very painful for me because
Yes.
I'm really putting myself as much as I can into your shoes and trying to feel what you're feeling, and
yeah.
that can be exhausting. And I can't do that with some stupid thing that happened today.
Why
You know, it's
therapy
like
exists.
yeah.
I was gonna
You know what I
say,
mean? Like,
that's my
that's-
favorite codependent outlet, to just sublimate myself to someone else's life and pretend like I don't exist, and they just fill up
Well,
the void.
I've learned
So
in the past couple
bad.
years
Yeah.
Very
just how
unhealthy.
painful you can inflict so much pain as that kind of communicator because you're setting up an expectation of no boundary and that you have to listen to me. And that's the only way things get done. And you not hearing me is based on you being a bad listener. And like, while some of those aspects might be true, the other aspect is that like if we have a swollenness here, I don't think one person is creating the deficit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like to have like a cave of like we need $3 trillion is not just a one-sided thing. You know what I mean? The opening, the cavern had to exist like for that sort of mega pull to happen. So it's like I've just had to learn, and speaking as the devil's advocate to what you're saying, that like yes, that'd be great that you be a better listener, but like gaining that skill back is also a trauma reworking that is not linear. You cannot expect someone you love, like, yes, if it's very important, it's like, hey, like you're saying, you've put it out there that, like, if this is really important that you're listening to me, I'm like, we're connected. Hi. This is
Yeah.
important to me. So you're asking someone to be intentional with what they're saying.
Yes,
And if someone's
that's it.
being
That's
fully
exactly it.
intentional, they probably don't need to say all of the shit that they're saying.
Yes.
That's true.
And
Yes.
that creates, because talking about anything makes it a reality. And so it's like, if your idea of a relationship is that I get to unload or vent and this person is there for me, then you need a therapist, and that is a very unhealthy thing.
Everybody needs a therapist.
Well, that's true. Everybody does. And that's the other thing about it, is that it's like, yes, so it's not unreasonable for you to need to vent. It's not unreasonable for you to need to figure out how to have these conversations better. But using the one possible partner or like your multiple partners or whoever, family, to as the backboard is like, what happens to a basketball when you hit the backboard?
That's
the
so
hoop,
true.
The hoop is the swish, right? The backboard is there to get slammed against. People need to be exchanged real services for the slam against. You know, if I'm already in a relationship with you and you get cancer, that area has been created. I'm here to be the backboard now. That's an agreement that we've settled on. There's already a dignified respect. How do we create that dignified respect outside of family and close relationships? With money. That's it. So it's like, yeah, the therapist is there to take a beating. They know how to do it. That's what they're good at. They're good at
so
being the
true.
backboard. That's it. But, you know, so it's like, you got to be honest with yourself about, like, working through shit. Is that, like, it is that brash.
Yeah.
And no one in your life can take it on.
I did notice that, like, because of things that have happened to me in the past with other people, I get afraid that if you figure out I'm not listening to you, you're going to get mad at me. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get really mad that I didn't hear everything you said.
It's like not responding right away on your phone. That sounds like
Right.
a similar
It's
chord.
a very
Yeah.
similar thing. It's like I've kind of been trained to think, oh God, I don't remember this being said. I'm going to get in trouble. You know, I'm going to get yelled at. And I don't want to get yelled at. So in a way, I'm almost afraid to bring it up. I'm afraid to even say, I'm not listening to you right now. You know, I'm,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and that creates a web of lies if you're not willing to, like,
Yeah,
confront
right.
the
But
initial that can snowball really
That's
quick.
the truth. It's like, I know that you have a lot of things you want to talk about, and I'm more than willing to sit here while you do that, but I can't listen to all of it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and you're kind of subconsciously protecting yourself.